show concept, just so I can stunt, park my shit up in the projects. Niggas mad at me cause I'm smart and I'm confident. Talent on 10, nigga, gotta thank Allah for that. Walk where they starving at, where I got a warrant at. Smarter than the internet, smarter than the almanac.
Welcome to another episode of Maximilian Must Know. Today we're taking a look at another fragrance from the house of Creed. This is my 6th bottle from the house. There are certainly some more that I need to finish off my Creed collection. You know, I think the next one that I'll probably purchase will either be Original Santal or Tabarome if it's colder out. Maybe if it's a little bit warmer out, Silver Mountain Water, or Arolfa. Actually, also definitely looking for a bottle of Green Valley. So if you know anyone that has one on the cheap, hit me up. And then after that, you know, I'd like to get a couple of Royal exclusives, maybe try to split one of those with someone if anyone's interested in that either, you know, splitting a Royal exclusive. Also hit me up and we could talk about that. But this one, Himalaya, really wasn't on my radar. And I was at Blue Mercury one day. It's a skincare and fragrance chain, and they stock Creed, Acqua di Parma, L'Artisan Parfumé, Jo Malone, and a few others. And I just was going through the Creed fragrances, and I tried this one, and I was really impressed with what I smelled. I kept coming back to my hand after I left this store, and that sort of told me all that I needed to know. You can watch my other Creed videos to learn about the very controversial history of this house, but let me just say that I think their fragrances discounted are a great buy, and at retail, to me, most of them are insults. So for me, if there wasn't a secondary Creed market, I think the only two that I'd probably still have in my collection would be Royal Oud and Green Irish Tweed. You know, I'd be more than happy with an Aventus clone, personally, rather than paying $330 for Aventus. So let's talk about Himalaya. Himalaya was released in 2002, and basically Olivier and Erwin Creed did this one together. Evidently, it was made to commemorate Olivier Creed's climb up the Himalayan mountain, and as you could see, the bottle was designed, as we look at the presentation here, to look like either ice on mountain rocks or a climber's canteen. So I actually really do enjoy this bottle. I think most Creed boxes are bland, so this one is sort of the same thing you always see, but it's got a really nice silver foil around the entire box. You have your normal stuff, you know, your batch code on the bottom, which should match the lot number on the bottom of the bottle, and then, you know, it's just normal Creed stuff. You want to look to make sure that everything's spelled right, everything's printed crisply, and then at your actual bottle, again, you do have that batch code, and this says SO39. And I haven't checked this yet, but yeah, it's SO39 there as well. So you could tell this one's legit. Other things you do want to look for is when you look at the inside of the cap, you do want it to be a couple of pieces. It should be made of 2 pieces of plastic. Creed should be on top of the atomizer, printed pretty clearly, and then on top of the cap, that crown should be straight and not crooked. So they're definitely, also this should be crisp and really readable. You know, you should be able to tell. You can see this is reflective, and it almost looks like car paint. So there's certain ways you could tell really easily whether you got a fake. In regard to your Creed bottle, I always say get from places like Amazon and eBay and FragranceNet, and not from shadier places, and you'll always be good. Notes on this fragrance are going to be grapefruit, bergamot from Calabria, and lemon from Sicily at the top. In the middle, you've got sandalwood and musk, and in the base, ambergris and cedarwood. Now, pricing on this is standard Creed pricing. On the Creed website, the 1 ounce bottle is $165, and you can go up to $675 for the 17 ounce flacon. But as of writing this, I got mine from Amazon. A 4 ounce bottle cost me $125. Fantastic deal, I think. And again, with the Creeds, as I just said, Amazon is safe if Amazon is a seller. Beauty Encounter is safe, FragranceNet are safe, but be careful going outside those sites. I would be really careful on eBay. I wouldn't do anything on eBay with Creeds personally. And of course, places like Blue Mercury, Bergdorf, Saks, Neiman's, Bloomingdale's also sell authentic Creed products, but you will be paying, if you buy this full retail 4-ounce bottle, $330. So that is a little bit bananas. So what do I get out of this fragrance? Well, right off the bat, you get this gorgeous citrus blast: grapefruit, bergamot, and lemon. And this is what I call a really soapy citrus. It just exudes this clean aura, makes me think of coming right out of the shower. It's got this really regal air about it. It just smells expensive. And to me, Creed Citrus is only second to one other house out there, and that house is Xerjoff when you think of 1861 and Neo. And Kobe Kobe, the Blood Orange, and Lyra. I think they have the best citrus, and then I definitely think Creed does, and Roja Dove does. Roja Dove has some crazy citrus notes in his Neroli and bergamot extract too. But all those houses I just mentioned do citrus in fantastic manner. So you get that citrus at the top, and then after about 20 minutes or so, the citrus starts to die down a little bit, and you get this woody, mainly cedar and sandalwood sort of mid-phase with some soapiness, and that lasts for a couple hours. And then by the 4th or 5th hour, it's just that finale is the Creed signature musk and ambergris blend, and it's got that Creed freshness like GIT and Millesime Imperial and Arolfa have. It just dries down to this really nice sort of citrusy ambergris blend, and I think it's really nice with like a white musk in it. This draws comparisons to other fragrances: Excess by Paco Rabanne and Platinum Egoist by Chanel, and I think both of those are really good scents. I have both of them on my to buy list for my collection, and I do get the similarities, but this one, in my opinion, is better than both of those. It just, to me, smells of a much higher quality. Unfortunately, performance on this one, for my skin at least, is not very good. And usually with me, that's sort of the downfall of Creed scents. That's their Achilles heel, in my skin. I get about 6 hours of longevity and about 4 to 5 of projection, and I find that to be pretty unacceptable for a $300+ fragrance. I would say this is a very masculine fragrance, but anyone who likes to smell clean and fresh can pull this stuff off. And for me, this is spring and summer juice. It cannot stand up to frigid temperatures. It would be a great work scent, really as good as you can get for work. It's not offensive, it's not loud, it just fits wearing a suit and tie very well. Of course, you can also wear this casually, but I would tell you that it would get probably drowned out on a night out. Now, if you didn't want to pay Creed money for this fragrance, even discount it, which is still $125, you can get Platinum Egoist for, I think, about $82 for 100 ml. Or you can get Paco Rabanne's Excess for like $35 on Amazon. So there are options at different price points. And I also didn't mention, this one is the 4 fluid ounce 120 ml bottle. You could also just get a smaller bottle of this as well. Someone trying to sell you on this would tell you that you're getting the Creed name, and that Creed name is synonymous with quality. They would tell you that this isn't a polarizing scent. Fragrances in their essence are supposed to make the wearer smell good, and this one is not going to let you down. This one will definitely make you smell good. It will make you smell fresh and clean. I think someone on the flip side would argue that it doesn't perform as well as it should at its price point. They would also argue that there are cheaper options that we just talked about, and you still sort of have that poor Creed presentation of $300. This does not look like to me how a $300 fragrance should be packaged. And they'd also say, whoever was trying to dissuade you from this, probably that it's not a very unique fragrance. Excess came out, and I believe Excess and Platinum Egoist both came out before this one did. So on the rating side of things, I'm going to give Himalaya a 6 out of 10. I just can't give it points for originality. I can't give it points for good performance. It's expensive juice, even at the Amazon price tier, and I still think that Creed is getting away with highway robbery in charging people $330 for these flimsy cardboard boxes, even if it is appealing with that sort of silver wrapping on it. I just think you got to be crazy to be charging someone $330 for this presentation. With that said, this is as safe as a fragrance as you're ever going to get. It's kind of the same thing as wearing a Brooks Brothers suit to a big meeting. You know, you're playing it safe. No one's going to ridicule the way that you look. But conversely, no one's going to give you compliments or call you out on taking risks and being daring. You know, it's not going to make you seem bold. Personally, I like pushing boundaries. I like standing out. I like being unique. I like setting trends and not following trends. So I do enjoy this in my collection, but it's really something I wear when I don't want to think about wearing anything, if that makes sense to you guys. It's just sort of a good blah. You know, like that's the best way that I could describe it. Of all the Creed fragrances I have, so far it is my least favorite. It is the sixth one that I bought, but I did still find it worthy enough to be in my collection. You know, I just wish that it performed a little bit better and maybe had a little bit more of its own uniqueness and not smell like something else you can get out there for a tenth of the money. So that is my take on Creed by Himalaya. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I'll see you back next week with another video. Please feel free to hit me up if you have any questions. I'm Maximilian.
And make the dark